The Santiago Bernabéu held its breath, then erupted in a collective gasp of disbelief. In the 88th minute of a Champions League quarter-final second leg, with the aggregate score locked at 3-3, the referee pointed to the spot. A penalty, awarded to Manchester City, against Real Madrid, for a handball that, even on replay, appeared to be more accidental than intentional. This wasn't just a call, it was a thunderclap, shaking the very foundations of a match already brimming with tension. The decision instantly transformed a finely balanced tactical battle into a crucible of controversy, threatening to snatch victory from Madrid's grasp and propel City into the semi-finals under a cloud of contention. The weight of European history, the roar of the home crowd, and the tactical brilliance of both Ancelotti and Guardiola had been building to this crescendo, but no one anticipated such a dramatic and disputed turning point. This wasn't merely a game of football. It was a high-stakes drama where every pass, every tackle, and now, every whistle, carried the immense burden of Champions League glory. The immediate aftermath saw players from both sides swarming the official, a desperate plea for reconsideration against a decision that felt both sudden and profoundly unfair to the home side. The emotional intensity on the pitch mirrored the fury in the stands, as the implications of this single incident began to sink in. This moment, more than any other, would define the narrative of this epic encounter, casting a long shadow over what had, until then, been a masterclass in strategic football. The stage was set for an unforgettable and undeniably controversial conclusion, with the very integrity of the competition seemingly on the line. Before that explosive moment, the match itself had been a tactical masterpiece, a chess match between two managerial titans. Real Madrid, known for their clinical counter-attacks and midfield dominance, had initially sought to absorb City's relentless pressure, looking to exploit spaces left by the English champions' high defensive line. Fede Valverde, a tireless engine in Madrid's midfield, was instrumental in breaking up City's rhythm and launching swift transitions, often linking up with Vinicius Jr. on the left flank. Manchester City, conversely, had deployed their familiar possession-based system, aiming to suffocate Madrid with intricate passing patterns and fluid movement, particularly through Kevin De Bruyne's incisive through balls and Erling Haaland's predatory instincts in the box. The first half saw City dominate possession, but Madrid's defensive solidity, marshaled by Antonio Rudiger, largely nullified their threats, allowing only a few half-chances. The tension was palpable, a constant hum of anticipation as both teams probed for weaknesses. The second half opened with increased intensity, Madrid pushing higher, creating more opportunities, forcing Ederson into a couple of crucial saves. The ebb and flow of the game was a testament to the quality on display, a testament to why this fixture is considered the pinnacle of club football. Each team had their moments, each manager made subtle adjustments, and the balance of power shifted minute by minute, setting the stage for a dramatic conclusion that no one could have predicted would be overshadowed by a single contentious call. The tactical battle was fierce, a testament to the meticulous preparation from both dugouts, but the underlying current of high stakes meant every decision, every challenge was magnified. The controversial penalty call in the 88th minute wasn't an isolated incident. It was the culmination of a growing tension that had simmered throughout the second half. The handball, attributed to Eder Militao, occurred during a frantic scramble inside Madrid's box following a corner. City's players immediately appealed, their shouts echoing through the stadium, while Madrid's defenders vehemently protested, arguing the ball had deflected off Militao's thigh before brushing his arm, making it unintentional and unavoidable. The referee, after a brief consultation with the VAR, upheld his initial decision, sending a wave of outrage through the white half of the Bernabéu. This wasn't just about the rules, it was about the spirit of the game, the interpretation of intent in a high-pressure situation. The decision felt like a direct assault on Madrid's hard-fought defensive effort, a moment where technology, meant to clarify, instead amplified the controversy. The ensuing penalty, calmly dispatched by Julian Alvarez, leveled the aggregate score at 4-3 in City's favor, leaving Madrid with mere minutes to find an equalizer and avoid elimination. The atmosphere became electric, charged with a volatile mix of despair and defiant hope. The perceived injustice fueled Madrid's players, transforming their frustration into a desperate surge forward, throwing caution to the wind in search of a miracle. This single incident didn't just change the scoreline, it fundamentally altered the emotional landscape of the match, turning a tactical contest into a raw, visceral fight against the clock and a perceived unfairness. The debate over the handball rule, its application, and the role of VAR in such critical moments, instantly became the dominant post-match talking point, overshadowing the brilliance that had preceded it. With the clock ticking down and the weight of the controversial penalty pressing heavily, Real Madrid launched a furious, almost desperate, assault on City's goal. Carlo Ancelotti, reacting swiftly, pushed Luka Modric further forward, injecting more creativity and urgency into the attack, while Pep Guardiola countered by bringing on fresh defensive legs to shore up his backline, aiming to absorb the inevitable onslaught. The final minutes were a blur of frantic crosses, last-ditch tackles, and heart-stopping saves. Vinicius Jr., fueled by a potent mix of anger and determination, danced past defenders, unleashing a powerful shot that forced Ederson into a spectacular, fingertip save. Rodrigo, introduced earlier, found himself in promising positions, but City's defense, despite the pressure, held firm, their discipline a testament to Guardiola's meticulous preparation. The tactical battle shifted from intricate passing to a raw test of endurance and nerve. Madrid's players, driven by the perceived injustice, fought for every inch, their collective will pushing them forward. City, meanwhile, showcased their champions' mentality, weathering the storm with composure, knowing that one mistake could still cost them everything. The tension was almost unbearable, a suffocating blanket over the stadium as both sets of fans roared their teams on. Every clearance was cheered, every tackle applauded, as the game hurtled towards its conclusion. The strategic adjustments made by both managers in these dying moments were critical, a final roll of the dice in a game that had already delivered more drama than anyone could have anticipated. The narrative of the match had been irrevocably altered, but the fight for survival was far from over. Despite Madrid's valiant, last-gasp efforts, the final whistle blew, confirming Manchester City's progression to the Champions League semi-finals with a 4-3 aggregate victory. The immediate aftermath was a stark contrast. City's players celebrated with a mixture of relief and triumph, while Madrid's squad slumped to the turf, their faces etched with disappointment and a lingering sense of grievance over the decisive penalty. This match, however, will not be remembered solely for City's advancement, but for the profound impact of that 88-minute decision. It ignited a fierce debate across the football world about VAR's role in high-stakes encounters, the subjective nature of handball interpretations, and whether such calls truly enhance or detract from the beauty of the game. For Real Madrid, it's a bitter pill to swallow, a season's European dream ending in controversy, forcing them to regroup and reassess their strategy for future campaigns. For Manchester City, it's a hard-fought victory, but one that will undoubtedly be accompanied by discussions about the legitimacy of their progression, adding another layer to their quest for European dominance. The implications extend beyond this single tie. It raises questions about consistency in officiating and the psychological toll such decisions take on players and fans alike. This encounter serves as a stark reminder that in football, especially at the Champions League level, fine margins and contentious calls can often dictate destiny. What are your thoughts on the decisive penalty? Did the referee make the right call, or was it a moment that unfairly swung the balance of power? Share your perspective on this unforgettable Champions League clash.